Hello from me, Lazarus. We continue with the next lesson. From the Lazarus IDE course. Last time we looked settings in the Lazarus IDE, and now we will look forms in the Lazarus IDE. We open the PDF file. Properties of the main form is the first point. It's time to get started. Description of the components with which we worked in the first two programs. And to successively familiarize ourselves with the following. Component means virtual object, which has properties and events located in the components palette and can be located on the form. The form itself is also a component and has its own properties and events. And we can modify the properties and to program the events. We will meet now with the basic properties of the form. Let's open an empty project in Lazarus IDE. So, first let's look at the caption property. That is, when we write something here. For example, to write. And by pressing enter and we see it changing here. And it now becomes my form. Next properties are color, height, width. We see that the height and width can change when we go to the end of the form and an arrow like this is obtained. Just a moment, I clicked here, and we may change the shape. If we go to the corner, we can change both these properties. And properties can also be set programmatically. We'll see how that goes in a bit in our third program, but first, let's save our project in a new folder. Just a moment. Here I will first delete those which I had created, the old ones. And then I press save. I had done it a while ago and so now he gives me this. I compile and here I see that the name changes to my form. Thus, the color property. We will look at it now. There are two options. The default options or here at the three dots. A special window will appear. But wait, I'll show it in the PDF file. Here the window is displayed, where we can select colors. The font property. It calls up a dialog box, in which we can choose fonts. Here it is from here. We choose our fonts. So, now we will see the name property. Through this property we can to name the shape. But we won't change it for now. Every component has such a property, even when placed on the form. It is assigned such a unique name. For example, let's put a button. It is named button 1. If we put a second button, it is named button 2. And if we decide to change that name, it happens of course from here. We need to know that it should be written in Latin. And there should be no spaces. Now many programmers like to abbreviate the names. For example, if they want to write Print button. Write BTN first, the consonants. I in general, BTN PRTN. That's how they would spell it, me, though. I am not a fan of such a concept. And I prefer to write full meaningful names by separating them with an underscore. For example, a print button, this is how I would write it. Button underscore print, this would do. It is recommended if you want change the name of a component. To do this immediately, after placing it on the form, the position property. There are several options. Moment, we will look at them in the PDF file, because it becomes clearer here as written. So there are several options. By default, the position is determined by the operating system, according to design, in the center of the screen. In the center of the main form, this is when we do the second form modal, and also in other cases. At the bottom of the object inspector there is a colored in yellow field. This is a help field, which displays information about the highlighted component. Links to help are provided in the menu. Files on the environment where it can. Let's read more. A very useful option, if not, we know what a component is used for. We can enter, read, open. Otherwise, in the auxiliary Lazarus menu, help, which is located at the top right, there is also such help. It can be opened, and to view and search for components. Everything is done very well. Those are the properties we've looked at so far. Then, in the process of the specific tasks, we will look at some of them. That's all for this tutorial. Best regards.